Yes, sir. There he is.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to the camera.
All right.
I just had to have some filler time.
Gotta get your screen time where you can.
Yeah, I just had some very flattering things to say about you, so I left them.
Thanks.
Next.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, cool. So, Alan Stern, what's going on?
I'm good.
Good?
I'm good, yeah.
Cool. So, basically, the only point of this is to get relevant information from your mouth, filtered through my mouth, to people that want to hear it through their ears. I don't give a shit what we talk about.
Obviously, that does not include my children, because they don't want to hear it.
Sure, yeah, I'm sure.
They've heard enough.
Heard it to death.
My wife doesn't want to hear it. She's heard enough.
Don't worry, she doesn't have to listen.
Yeah. Why should this be any different than anything else I do?
So, Alan does a whole bunch of different stuff. Most importantly, he is a dentist, a very good dentist, and an advocate for the best dentistry possible. I am super impressed by Alan. We have a little bit of a history, friendship, and professional relationship developed over the years. He's a cool dude and a good friend. I have a couple business things about your business I want to ask you, and then I have some things like personally about for me that I want to ask you.
Delighted. Bring it.
First thing, better, richer, stronger.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Man, there's a long history behind that, Mason. I am a couple of months older than you are. Been around for a while.
Yeah.
And I've been practicing dentistry for, it's now 42 years. Graduated May 16th, 1981. Do the math.
Okay.
And in that time, I made dozens upon dozens of mistakes. Business mistakes that cost me a fortune. Trusting people who had not earned my trust. Mm-hmm. Staying with advisors and consultants who were not watching out for my best interest. And by the way, that is not an indictment of anybody, because if somebody's not a perfect fit, it's my responsibility, it's your responsibility to determine that and make decisions. So I stayed with advisors who left me a couple of $100,000 in debt in my 50s with no increase in income to pay for it. Mm-hmm. And that tossed me into, I wouldn't call it depression. I was not clinically depressed, but boy, was I miserable. Mm-hmm. And so I clawed my way through those problems with help from a world famous therapist, with help from some fantastic coaches and advisors who guided me to my happy life. Mm-hmm. And having come through it, having rolled up my sleeves and really dug my way out and also up the mountaintop, I realized that a lot of dentists have been or are in the boat that I was in. Mm-hmm. And I knew that the lessons that I've learned were going to serve a purpose through my work. And Better, Richer, Stronger is exactly what I am. And I am here not only to practice dentistry, to love the people who come to me and trust me, mm-hmm. like you.
So what exactly is Better, Richer, Stronger?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It is a coaching service for dentists.
Yeah.
You want it that simple?
Yeah.
But the why is very important. The why. So I coach other dentists.
Yeah.
To get to the point that I'm at.
Okay.
Practicing happily, practicing who I am, who you are, and also making enough money so that you can live the life that you want.
So it seems by the way you're talking that dentists are not happy and not living the life that they want. So what's going on? What's going on in dentistry that's got you so fired up to teach other dentists about what you know and what you learned?
What I learned 10 years ago, a beloved, highly successful colleague committed suicide.
Mm-hmm. I know that dentistry has long been one of the highest suicide rates.
Number two behind police officers and soldiers, yeah. And when I saw what happened to me, mm-hmm. and then I saw what happened to the beloved and beautiful Dr. Andrea Bierman from Leawood, Kansas, I decided to do something about it. And mm-hmm. that was the birth of it all. And when I gave a presentation to the Alumni Association of the Education Institute that made me what I am today professionally, and 4 of 150 overachievers in our profession came up to me and my teaching partner and thanked us. Mm-hmm. I knew that I had something,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to give it.
What's in your experience and your teaching and you're talking to all these different dentists, why is it such a difficult profession to be involved in, and why does it lead to so much mental, strife and all that?
Mm-hmm. Well, we are trained in dentistry, overtly or subliminally, by good people who don't know any better, that if your work isn't perfect, it's crap, and if your work is crap, you're crap.
Mm.
That's the subliminal message that susceptible people get from perfectionistic training.
Mm-hmm.
And we suffer from perfection syndrome.
Yep.
We suffer from comparison syndrome, because
Mm-hmm.
we all brag about how great we are,
Mm-hmm.
and how much money we're making and how perfect we are in our dentistry.
Yeah.
And you hear that enough times, and it gets pounded into your head that you are just not good enough. And the exact opposite is true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've struggled with that exact frame of thought in my own life, and I've talked about it on here before.
Me too.
Perfectionism and the struggling with trying to be perfect and striving for excellence, and how pointless that can be.
Yeah, one of the greatest people who lived in the profession of dentistry is a man that your audience can't see it, but there's a man in the upper left corner there, an older man, and that was the late great Dr. Henry Tanner, who arguably was one of the greatest dentists and greatest teachers of this profession.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Tanner said, that excellence stuff is good, but that perfection stuff will kill you.
Mm.
It will drive you to suicide.
It literally will.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You need to give yourself room to breathe in your own mind.
And let me just add to that, Mason. You need to give the world a little bit of grace. Mm-hmm. That if somebody falls short,
mm-hmm.
where you think they're falling short, don't be so quick to stomp on them. Because everybody's carrying something. I am at this moment, you are at this moment, and whoever is honoring us with their time by listening is carrying something. So the thing to do is to be nice to yourself, mm-hmm. and project that kindness out to other people.
Yeah. I can't. Unbelievable amount of change happened just in my life for my own mental health when I just started treating myself better.
Yeah. And you've been through a lot. I know a good part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You are a Renaissance man, a resilience kid, and you have emerged as just a powerhouse for good in the world, and I'm very proud of you.
It's not as good sometimes as I'd like it to be.
Yeah. So then what makes you different than the rest of the world?
Nothing.
You will never be as good as you want to be. Yeah. You're going to grow and rise, and dentists don't understand this. You're going to grow and rise, and you're going to reach a point, and then you're going to fall off, and then you're going to see another mountain to climb. And if you're smart, or if you're wise from experience, you're not going to say, that guy up there is great and I suck. Mm-hmm. No, that guy up there is showing me what's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I teach all these lessons to like little kids, and then I fucking forget them myself. Like,
don't say. No, all right, kid. Listen. We don't say that word here.
What?
The word is fucking.
Fucking.
If you're gonna say it right, because if you say fucking, you sound fucking crude. Okay.
Hey, this is my fucking show, man.
Well, fuck you, motherfucker. Humor is a very important tool that if you know how to use it right, it breaks the stress, it connects people, and it makes the people involved in the conversation just lighten up a little bit. Now, I'll use that vocabulary where I know the audience is primed to hear it.
Yeah.
There are other things I do humorously, and you've heard some of them in a more proper audience. But sometimes those words will just add a little bit of spice.
It does.
To the food that is conversation.
Yeah. I think that's like what we were talking about this morning. Oh, what does everybody like about the meeting? And we're in a networking group together, so we meet with a bunch of professionals and stuff. So I see Alan once a week. But I think it's just because we bust each other's balls.
Yeah, well,
and all of us have the respect to be ball busted and to bust balls.
You have,
and it's that give and take that I think everybody steps into, and that's like for us, it's just how we live. And that's why we found each other. But for guests and stuff, it's
Yeah.
funny when people aren't used to that. Oh my God, I can joke around in a professional setting.
Yeah.
Well, fuck yeah, buddy. Why wouldn't you be able to?
Why not?
Yeah,
life is about relationships.
Yeah.
And I spoke this morning to our business group, and the thing that young people have to understand is that the world is digitizing, commoditizing. Communication has been reduced to this, and that is going to kill us.
Mm-hmm.
What you have to understand is that there is no substitute for eye-to-eye conversation.
There's not.
If it's video, look, if you're in California and someone's in California, we're here in New Jersey, and we have a message, fine, you can hop on Zoom and you can accomplish close to the same thing. But if you're going to text or email, you got to be aware that voice intonation and eye contact add to the conversation something that a digital platform cannot do. I mean, just before I said, go fuck yourself. I could say, hey, go fuck yourself.
If you texted me that, I'd be so confused.
Yeah. Yes. So.
But when you said it, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, it's fun. We're having fun. But a big message I want to get out to the Gen Xers, the Gen Zers, all of you people who are just beginning to discover the wonders of life. Please, for God's sake, put down the fucking cell phone and get on Zoom or get together over a cup of coffee, a can of beer, or if you're a bon vivant like I am, a little good single malt, and just get together and talk.
Yeah.
Please don't lose that art, because, we're talking about artificial intelligence now, and they're talking about artificial intelligence threatening humankind. And it's really true. Because if you're going to have a bot speak for you, where's the humanity?
Yeah, I only think it's going to threaten humankind if we take ourselves out of the equation. And
we can very well.
Yeah, and that it's giving us the option, which is scary, but I also don't think that it will be that for the people that don't want it. Like, for the people that want to just go into the metaverse and fucking disintegrate, go for it. Because your muscles atrophy in like a week and a half, and just guess what? Like, if you're in that thing for over a week without proper movement and whatever, good luck. You're going to die. But that's fine. So for the people that aren't going to die, I think that we can just use that as I just call it the internet too.
Yeah, maybe if you use it as an adjunct, yes.
It's just better internet. Like, everybody's so scared of, it's just internet number 2.
I'm not sure, because there are people who use it for nefarious purposes.
So people use the internet for nefarious purposes too.
Yeah, but this takes it up a notch.
Yes, so did the internet when you didn't have it.
We have to be careful. We have to have proper controls and defense mechanisms. Yeah, and definitely. The only way you're going to do that is if you don't forget your humanity. If you don't forget
100%.
that this, or talking to a bot and let it translate it for you, no, humanity first.
Yeah. I have faith in humanity, though. I do. I think that the majority of people don't want to disintegrate. The thought might be nice, like, oh, metaverse, so many possibilities, but once enough people feel like shit, you're not going to get very far.
I agree, asterisk.
Yeah.
There is risk.
Me too.
There is risk.
There's risk, and trust me, it doesn't have to get better before it can get worse, but I think that there's an end
I think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah. No, definitely. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I don't care. There's just like there's so much else going on in the world. It's like AI doesn't even matter.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, there's just too much going on. There's just too much mathematical perfection in this world for that to even matter. An inkling of, if it's not gonna, be right into the stream of the flow of the world, then why is it here? So
yes, you can't stop that flow. No. That you can't stop growth.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just natural, and I think it's just the next evolution of the internet and algorithm.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, I think so. It'll just be a mirror, just like the internet is. We use it for what we use it for, right? Yeah. So it's like, what are we going to use it for? So,
yeah, but we have to be equipped with the emotional tools and the communication tools to handle it.
Yeah, everybody gets so down on like the negatives, like that's so scary, taking jobs. It's like, why do you want to do a job that AI can fucking do? Why do you want to do it? Find another fucking job. Find another job. Find another job that you would want to do.
Train and learn, grow, and train.
Yeah, just adapt. And not like, just like, there's this thing, I love this, the learn to code thing. Like when all this trucking automation and shit came out, there's some guy that was just like, well, truckers should just fucking learn to code.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's the biggest asshole thing you can say. But if you did, as a trucker, learn to code and you understood trucking and automation, you'd fucking make a killing.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not a joke. It's just like, that's like, yo, that's where it's going. Learn to code. So it's an asshole thing to say, obviously, to someone that's losing their job.
Well, no, but if we could rephrase it a little
Yeah.
bit, and if we could train the children of the world,
yeah,
and by children I mean much younger than you.
Oh, yeah.
If we could train them to understand that stress is an opportunity for growth. What did I come up with? Discomfort is a blessing.
Yeah.
If you use it properly. The book of Alanisms is coming out very soon. And Alanism number 1 is show me a person without stress and I'll show you a cadaver.
Yeah.
And if we utilize stress to refine us and not define us, then we grow.
Yeah.
Growth happens at the intersection of anger and opportunity. So if you get to the truckers of the world, we need you guys. But if you feel that your job is threatened, use that stress to grow yourselves a little bit more.
That's a good one.
Don't want to grow? That doesn't work. If you stop growing, you stop living. So life is a process of growth, and even at my age, I am going to be celebrating my 21st birthday for the 49th time. And I'm not retiring, I'm refiring. I am learning new things. I have new challenges in front of me that are absolutely formidable, but damn, the reward at the other end of it, wowee.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you is you just have like a passion for life and it keeps getting resparked. And I think that that is just a testament to life. Will respark itself if you let it.
Yeah.
And I just think, I heard, man, I was at my friend's 21st birthday party and it's like her parents and her parents' friend, you know, all the close family, whatever, everybody. And it was like, oh, cheers to 21. And then like someone made the joke like, oh, it's all downhill from here. And I was like, no, it's fucking not, Kelsey. It absolutely isn't, because my life has gotten exponentially better since I have been able to drink, whatever, go to a bar, turn 21. No, because I put in time, because I followed my dreams, because I worked hard, and it's sick, and it just keeps getting better. And it's a testament when you start doing that, start meeting people like you that have done it for this many years, and to know that it just keeps getting better and better and better and better. It's like, fuck yeah, all right, that's motivation enough just to keep going to the next day if you need that. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, I just hated that was even like, well, I didn't hate it like, you know, she's too far gone, let her go downhill. But for Kelsey, you know, I was like, I told her a million times, I go, no, this is the point where you decide life gets better or life gets worse. Decide that it gets better. Like, do you want to be, like, how sick is it to be a rich adult? Like, when you're 40, if you were 40 and you could fly to an island when you wanted to and take off work when you wanted to, how sick is that? But these people didn't make that happen. You still have the opportunity to make that happen, right? Yeah. So how is it all downhill from there? It's only uphill in my mind. I'm only going to make more money. I'm only going to get smarter. I'm only going to figure out more shit. I'm only going to get calmer. I'm only going to have more relationships with people over time. So how is that worse? How is it all downhill from there?
Yes.
How the fuck is it all downhill from there?
It is. Well, it is what you want it to be.
Exactly. And that's why it's like, this is the important message. It's like, it is what you want it to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I was down and out in my mid-50s. And then I turned 60. And granted, I married a great lady. We have a wonderful marriage.
When did you marry, Frank?
August 14th, 1977. We were married 46 years in August.
I thought you were going to say you can do the math.
Yeah, you can do the math. But I met her 50 years ago in October.
Okay.
We met at a Halloween party. Wow. The story will bore people, but I'll tell you the story offline if you want. It's pretty funny. It was just at a fraternity party. And by the way, we are going to Las Vegas in a couple of weeks to celebrate my 10th birthday. And we are going with two of our fraternity brothers and sorority sisters.
Hey,
we know them for 50 years.
That's cool.
And our friendship, three of us died. One of us embezzled us out of tens of thousands of dollars. But a core group of us, it's getting smaller, sadly. But we are going out there with friends of 50 years. You can't even imagine that.
Yeah.
What a joy that is, and how much we grow in 50 years.
It's crazy because it's like, that's what I like. That's what I was looking forward to. Because I'm like, I'm only 25. And they've known each other for double the time I've been alive. Plus the time that they developed to, like, before that to know each other. It's like, oh my God, that's a lot going into this. Yeah,
it's pretty amazing. Great. You know, Jimmy Buffett wrote the song Changes in Latitude. I don't know if your generation is parrot heads at all.
I don't know it off the top.
Jimmy Buffett, the line is Jimmy Buffett, in Jimmy Buffett's song, yesterday's over my shoulder. I can't look back for so long. There's too much to see waiting in front of me. Yeah. And I know that I just can't go wrong. Yeah. And I'm looking, I get very emotional about that because I look back at what I've done. And clearly, you know, I'm approaching the red zone of lifespan, right?
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward with incredible, like a volcano of emotions.
Yeah.
That I got a lot of work to do.
So you still have my whole lifetime ahead of you.
More than that, God willing.
God
willing. My father is going to be 99 years old.
Yeah.
My mother died at 87, but she was a Holocaust survivor. She had her body and her brain abused by a lot of people.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law died at 101.
Yeah.
So I am hoping that Fran and I will be viable and strong till the end, whenever that might be.
Yeah.
We work out a lot, you know that. I keep myself active mentally.
He does. How long of a plank can you do?
At age 66, I did it for 10 and a half minutes. Now, I've fallen off a little bit, and I got injured, and my injury is recovered. I got to 9, then I got hurt, and I'm working my way. Yesterday, before my stretch flexibility training, I just banged out a 4-minute.
Nice.
I went to my trainer, our friend's son. I said, Don, I just did 4. I said, get back there and do another 2. Did another 2. I said, okay. He said, get back there and do another one. So I did a 4, a 2, and a 1. So, yeah, I could bang out a 4-minute plank right now if you wanted me to.
Okay, everybody, your challenge, if you want a challenge, is to do a 4-minute plank today. That's your benchmark. See where you are.
And let Mason know about it, and he'll let me know about it. And you will drive me to get to 12. My birthday is next week. I wanted to get to 12 minutes, but I had a shoulder injury and I developed a bone spur on my elbow. So I'm coming back from that. I will do 12 before my next birthday.
All right, so we all should be able to do 4 minutes. We're trying to get to 12 minutes.
No.
Oh,
Another
yeah,
Alanism.
That's true.
No, don't shit on yourself.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Don't shit on yourself, and don't shit on anybody else.
We all just try 4 minutes. Just try to get to 4.
Let me refine that for you, young man. I've been alive, what? More than double you've been alive, yes. Right? Bring the best version
You've been alive 3 times as long as I've been alive, almost.
Male offspring of female dog. I know how to curse. You do not shame on yourself. You don't should yourself.
Yeah.
Bring the best version of you, whether it's in your workouts or in your daily work or in your relationship with your family, with your friends. Be the best version you are at any given moment. And if you stumble and fall, yesterday I was at the gym and Coach Tom put me through a really heavy workout and I stumbled. I wasn't feeling 100% yesterday. And I almost, keyword almost, said, I can't do this. And Coach Tom said, we'll just make a few little modifications, just get through it. And I fucking did it. I went through a really intense workout with a couple of slight modifications for my physical condition at that moment. And I did it. So don't shit on yourself. I brought my best self to the gym yesterday. And I felt great about it. So if you want to use me, I would be honored and humbled, and my life's work will be that much better if one of you uses me as an inspiration and you want to take your physical health up to the next notch. And notice I'm pretty good, but I'm not perfect. I've got 5, 8 pounds that I can't get rid of. But damn it, for somebody my age,
yeah,
I could probably outdo people your age.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Go try 4, see where you're at. That's your
do your best.
This guy's 60 plus 10, and he can do over 10 minutes. So just
build.
We can get there. We can do this thing.
It takes a long time to become an overnight success.
Yeah.
Just climb the ladder rung by rung.
Yeah.
And by the way, can I add something else, Mason?
You can do whatever you want.
Whatever what I want? Whatever the...
Well, you can do whatever the fuck you
That
want.
boy. The other principle I want you all to be aware of, as long as this is a freewheeling discussion, and those of you who have stuck with us this long, thank you.
Of course.
No one gets there alone. Whatever you aspire to, whatever you want to achieve, if you want to get there fast, do it yourself. But if you want to get there and stay there, bring someone along with you. A coach, an advisor, a mentor, a consultant, I don't care what you call it. I would not be me if it weren't for a handful of critical people who popped into my life at critical times.
Yeah.
A world-class therapist, an amazing peak performance coach, a business coach, a speaking coach, 2 personal trainers, and a partridge in a pear tree. They made me what I am today. I go out to a retreat every year called Leadership and Legacy with 2 of the most brilliant women in dentistry. 2 of the most brilliant women, people of any gender in the dental profession. And I learn with some of the most high-powered people. I don't even know how the hell I belonged there. But all of a sudden, I worked my way into that group, and I'm a very important member of the Leadership and Legacy community. I started out as a timid guy who wouldn't even raise his hand. And now I'm a valued member of a community. So you get there with the help of people. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Surround yourself with people who will bring you up. And anyone who's dragging you down, walk away with grace.
Yeah. Walking away with grace. Probably the hardest thing to do.
It's very hard. And when I discovered in my journey what my true core values are, I did a deep dive. I did a couple of deep dives. And I realized that one of the things that drives my behavior, that drove my behavior in the past, unconsciously, now that it's in my consciousness, I filter what I say through my own, we call it integrity, through my core values. And my driving core value is that people are precious and people are fragile.
Okay.
So the biggest asshole that you run into is a human being who's carrying something. It's a human being with a glass jaw somewhere. But that human being is somebody's mother, father, sister, brother, son, daughter. They are loved by somebody. And man has an irreducible need for love and belonging. That's Brene Brown. So when I look, and I have run into people who have really gotten me upset, really pissed me off, hurt me in ways that are irreparable. I have learned, inside I'm angry, but I've learned to filter that through my core value, that son of a bitch is loved by somebody and is in need of love. It's just, I'm not going to be the source of it, but I'm also not going to be the source, to the best of my imperfect ability, to gut punch that person. Let somebody else do it. Let God do that. That's not for me, because anytime I retaliate or attack offensively, you know who comes out worse off? Me. I've screwed it up a couple of times. I have screwed it up a couple of times, and I have gut punched people because I didn't think first. And I've had to forgive myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. What are some ways that we can forgive ourselves to create a little more space so we don't hurt other people?
I think it's very important um, to look in the mirror and see a well-intended, well-trained human being who's designed to be very good but never perfect.
Yeah.
And one of the techniques that I use, if I'm scared out of my mind, I'll put a smile on my face, I'll stand up, I'll hold my arms over my head because there's an endorphin release there. Excuse me, I'm allergic to something here. And celebrate myself. I look back at myself when I was your age, and I see myself scared, afraid of the future, afraid of something happening, afraid of my mistakes coming back to knock me below ground level. And I can look at young Alan and say, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. I'm you. Look where you are X years from now.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you keep going with goodness in your heart and sharpness of your wit governing what you're doing. The other thing that I use is, if you haven't read Brene Brown, she's amazing. She's a shame researcher. She's got tons of books out. She's got a great TED Talk. I am imperfect. I am enough. Imperfection is really a gift because it's a vehicle for growth.
Hard.
Oh, it sounds easy.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds real easy. It took me therapy to get that. It took me counseling. It took me coaches to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of reading and a lot of thinking. And I still screw it up from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
I am imperfect, but I am good, Mace.
Yeah.
I am good.
When I first came into your office, the thing that caught my eye was the knitted poster of one of your famous quotes.
Which one?
That says, I am a force for good wherever I go, no matter how flawed or perfect I may be, or how excellent or flawed I may be.
That came out of...
Yeah, tell me where that came from.
That came out of the Leadership and Legacy retreat that I spoke about a moment ago.
Mm-hmm.
My dear friend, who's now a big sister to me, Mary Osborne, invited me to join this group. And I said to Mary, what is a little unknown schlepper like me going to do with... And I rattled off a batch of these huge names in dentistry that are associated with her. And she said, Alan, trust me, I know you. You belong here. And I said, but. And Mary said, trust me, Alan. And so began a friendship that is more like a brother and a big sister to a little brother. And her colleague, Joan Unterschutz, is another big sister to me, the little brother. And they are older than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And they are killing it. And so we went through, Leadership and Legacy is a 3-day retreat out at a very serene and tranquil resort south of Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And we go there and we process information, guided information on self-growth, personal and business development. And at the end of my first one, when I discovered that I was a person of value amongst a group that people that I could never touch, or I thought I could never touch their greatness.
Mm-hmm.
They had all of us spend 15 or 20 minutes writing down what we got out of that retreat. And I came up with that, and every person stood up, and there was not a dry eye in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of us was crying as we read the earth-shaking things that we took away. And mine was, I'm going to try to do this without breaking, but
Right.
I have realized that let me continue to improve as a force for good wherever I go, no matter how excellent or flawed I may be.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? everybody wants to give. When you do something good for somebody, that feels good. There are things that I've done randomly for somebody else that just made them feel good, but very frankly, it made me feel better.
Yeah.
Do we have a moment for a story?
Yeah.
You'll edit this out to whatever.
No, this is it.
All right. Well, okay. So wiping the nose. Sorry about that.
This is it.
When you got a nose this size, it's a big problem.
You have a schnoz.
That's it. I was born that way, baby. So I was in Phoenix earlier this year for a speakers conference, and I am privileged. I don't take this for granted, but I have access to the United Club. It's a real quiet place. The hustle bustle of the airport. It's a nice lounge. They've got drinks. They got food. Everything there. So I'm online to get into the United Club at 5 o'clock in the morning, and no, I was not having a drink. I wanted to have breakfast. And there was a young man, a couple of people in front of me, and you have to show your United Club pass. And this kid, I hear them saying, do you have your orders to travel? I said, no, it just came through at the last minute. I don't have it. And it was apparent that this young man was a soldier, and United Airlines is gracious enough to extend United Club benefits to active duty military. Great. But this kid didn't have proof. And they said, I'm sorry, young man, we can't let you in. So he started walking out. I looked and I said, and I didn't even think about this. Okay, I didn't even have to think. I said, wait a second. I went to the clerk. I said, can I bring this young man in as my guest? And they said, sure. Bingo. And damn, did I feel good.
Yeah.
This kid couldn't believe that some random geezer, and by the way, if I would have had to pay, I think it cost $60 to get in. I would have doled out the $60.
Yeah.
But I brought him in. We had breakfast together. We had a lovely conversation. He's a young pilot. He's a Navy pilot in training. He was traveling from Phoenix to somewhere in Texas to learn how to fly Navy jet fighters to defend 300 million people that he will never meet. And he was up and down thanking me. And man, I'm sitting there thinking, I was a force for good today.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished for me.
Yeah.
So anytime you do something good for another human being, whether it costs you money or whether it's a smile, a good morning, an encouragement to somebody who's down, anytime you do that, man, the endorphins start flying. So I would encourage you, just if you just got nothing to do today, or you're mindlessly drifting through your work, if your work is drudgery, look up. Do something to make somebody else feel good. And damn, you're going to feel like you've done something today. Make somebody's life better each and every day.
It's true.
It's so important.
It is.
Yeah.
It helps. It
makes the world better.
It makes the world better, but like, we were talking about it before, and just like looking at yourself in a different way.
Yes.
Like, that shit, you know, like, we all get down on ourselves about these mistakes and then carry, like, but we forget, like, how far these good things carry, too. Like, just as far as fucking up, will helping out.
Calculating in the Y positive direction for those who are good at math.
There you go. Calculating in the Y positive direction. Say that 3 times fast. And, it's hard to remember that shit when you're
you know why?
When you're in a hard spot.
You know why? There's a reason.
Okay.
Well, and it's in science.
I have an idea, and it's probably rooted in math.
No, it's rooted in neurophysiology.
Well, guess what? That's all math.
Whatever. Let him talk.
It is.
We are, and this is something that I coach to all the time, that dentists suffer from terribly. And, you know, if you decide, Mason, that you don't want to be my patient anymore, and you go somewhere else, I think the world is coming to an end.
Oh.
Rejection. And dentists suffer from this terribly. In fact, we all suffer from it terribly because we are built with a part of our brain called the amygdala. The amygdala is the primitive reptilian brain, which if we go outside into the parking lot here and a car was coming at us at 60 miles an hour, we would reflexively run like hell. That's not something we think about because our amygdala, our survival instinct, says fight, flight, or flee. Fight, flight, or freeze. There's no thinking there. And it kicks in automatically. What happens in this first world we live in, where we have people who challenge us, people who insult us, people who say, oh, that Mason Stelfox, he's no good. You think, or Mason, you're fired as my videographer. Sorry, get out. We fail to think about, our executive brain doesn't kick in time, and we stop thinking about the hundreds of other people that you have served brilliantly, and who will refer you and who will pay you good money. Not very much, but it's all good. They'll pay you good money to do your thing. So this fight, flight, or freeze instinct comes up in an inappropriate time. That's where we get in trouble. So you can forget these things very easily, and it's not your fault.
What are some ways that we can try and remember in those moments?
Same thing as I said before. You look at yourself as a force for goodness. You look at yourself as a highly accomplished, never perfect, got lots to learn, human being of good intent. And you have to get up in the morning and really understand that you are here for a purpose. And I don't care if you believe in God, I don't care if you believe in the universe, or if you don't, I don't care if you believe in simple humanism. All of that, every one of those ways is a great way of thinking. One of my Alanisms is more than one right answer. So you have to look at yourself in the mirror as a faulted and flawed, outstanding member of the human race.
Yeah, really. I continually ask these questions to people who I think can answer them, and that seems to be the underlying answer.
I am imperfect, I am enough.
And just accepting yourself, and that's full acceptance on both sides of the scale. I am imperfect, I am enough.
Yes.
And that's the paradox of life, and that's the hardest part is holding those two truths.
Who in your world has done everything 100% right 100% of the time? Nobody. And you're no exception. You are a human being. You will be flawed. But going back to another point I made, if you use that awareness of what you don't know as a point for growth, you'll just get better and better. But you're never going to know everything.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
You have anything else to talk about? What time is it?
It is 10:20. I want to be home in a little while, so this is a long conversation. And to those of you, we are endowed. I think since the digital age, we have the attention span of a third grader. Most of us.
That's not why. No.
Well, whatever.
Well, we're gonna. No, you don't, because you're listening to this for a reason. Because you seek out valuable information and have a long attention span. So don't listen to this guy. I mean, do listen to him, but just not for that last part.
He's full of shit.
To
to those of you who have stayed with us, first of all, thank you, because you're helping me to accomplish my mission in life, and that is to be a force for good. And I hope that maybe you pick out one or two things from this that will be good thought points for you. Don't ever try to be what you think I am. Don't ever try to be what you think Mason is, because
I ain't shit.
No, you are good. God don't make shit.
So you hold the two truths.
God don't make junk. You are made, if you're religious, you're made in the image of God, but you're never going to be God.
That's right.
But one more truth I want to leave you with, and that is, no matter how much you think I you think I may have. No matter how outstanding you think Mason is, and he is outstanding, you have no idea what price we have paid to get to where we are. You have no idea what price we are currently paying. You have no idea whether you are willing or able to pay the prices we are paying to be who we are today. What I want to leave you with is I want you to understand, I want you to learn what you want out of life. Have a guiding light. Have not an end point, but a next point. And then test if you are willing or able to pay the price to get there. If you're not capable or you're not willing, get over it. And then ratchet it down or up from that point. But we are endowed in this country with 3 unalienable rights. The right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of a Tesla. No, wait.
What was number 3?
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a big house on a big lot. No. It's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Choose to be happy. Financially, know what your bare-ass minimum is, your BAM. You have to earn that. And then go from there. What else do you want? And what are you willing to give in order to get that? There ain't no sum for nothing. What price are you willing to pay to get to the next level? But above all, be happy.
Damn.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're amazing.
You're freaking amazing.
I'm fucking amazing.